All right, hey everybody. Sorry I wasn't there today. So I'm here to kind of give you the answers to this codominance dihybrid cross so that you guys can go through it and be able to use it on your test next week. So for this problem, it says, in Snapdragons, a red flower, capital R, let me switch pen size, sorry, capital R is incompletely dominant. So you just did this with your SpongeBob activity where you see that incomplete dominance. It gives you a mixture, so you would get that purple color poofkin compared to, or the Spartan poofkin, things like that. So incomplete dominance is just a mixture of the two colors. So you take white or red and you would get pink. Little r is our white. The heterozygous condition being, again, here, pink. And normal broadleaf, capital B, are incompletely dominant over narrow grass-like ones, so little b. So our heterozygous condition, again, being this intermediate breadth width. If a pink-flowered intermediate leaf plant is crossed with a white flower intermediate breadth leaf plant, what would be the phenotypic ratio? So on these types, I'm only ever going to ask you guys for the phenotypic ratio. Never have to do the genotypic ratio just because there's so many different outcomes. So the very first part that you guys want to go through is identifying your different components. So you want to first identify what your parents are. So if we have P1, we know that our first flower, if a pink intermediate, so pink we know is big R, little r. So I like to a lot of times do these in different colors. So our pink, big R, little r, is crossed with a pink flower intermediate is crossed with a intermediate leaf. So this is going to be our big B, little b. And then we're going to take that one and we're going to cross it with a white flowered intermediate. So again, so parent 2 is going to give us our white flower, which is little r. And then we also have the intermediate, so again, that big B, little b. So that's one of the harder parts, is just first getting our parents and identifying what we have from the story. Then you gotta go ahead and actually identify their gametes that they're able to donate. So if we go and we bring this out over, so we say the gametes that the first parent is able to do, we have to do the FOIL technique. So you're always going to have two separate colors together. So you first, outer, inner, and last. So you're going to end up with 4 combinations every time that you do this. So you'll have a big R, a little r, a big R, and a little r. I'm going to do these just kind of quicker so you see all your combinations. So the first big R went with the big B. Then the big R went with a little b, little r with big B, and little r with little b. So in this case, you ended up having all 4 different. So you have big, big, little, 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 little. This one, our next combination, again, we do this FOIL. So you go first, outer, inner, last. And if you want to write them in that order as you go, that's fine too. So you have little r with a big B. Let me redo that. Little r with a big B. Then you have little r with a little b. Then you do your next one, which is little r, big B. And then again, you have the exact same thing, repeat, and you have little r, little b. So that is step 2. So this is part 2, is identifying their gametes, which again is another really probably one of the more complex parts of this problem. From here on out, it's mostly just making sure that you can do a dihybrid cross, but I'll show you, I'll take you through the process again. So once we have our parents, we have to set up a dihybrid, which as we know is the 16 Punnett square piece, so it's the longer one. So let's go ahead and we can set that up. So you have all your spaces. Try to give yourself enough space that you can write inside of them, because you're going to end up writing 4 letters inside each box. There we go. And then you can either take parent one, put them on the top, parent one, put them on the side, whichever you want. It's not really, doesn't really matter. I'm just going to go ahead and write all of them in real quick. So we have big, little, big, little, 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 and then put all the B's in. Big B, little b, little b, big, little, big, little. And then the next part is to focus on these problems as a one at a time kind of piece. So you want to go ahead and use just the R's, focus on them, get all of them drawn in, then go through and do all the B's. If you do both at the same time, that's allowed, that's not a problem. It's just more likely that you might make a mistake along the way. So if you do big R, so I would do big R, big, little, big, little, big, little. And you can go through and you can put all of them in. Fill that out. Make any mistakes. Big, little, little, big, little, big, little. So there you go. You have a rotating of big, little, and then little, little throughout the entire problem. Then you can go through and do your blues, or your B's, sorry. So your leaf size. So big B, big, little, big, big, little, big, little, big, little, big, little, little, little. Here's where it starts to change a lot. Big, little, 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 big, little, little, little. All right, so now you've gone ahead, you've filled in the entire Punnett square so you can kind of see all of it in there. So we have all the pieces that we need. What we need to do is identify now what the phenotypes are. So what did we actually create? What are the offspring in this case? So to do that, I like to set up a key over on the side. And like I said, I'll probably look for it on your test too, just because again, it kind of helps eliminate any of those potential problems. So let me go ahead and scoot things up a little bit. So right here, you can put in a little key to kind of help you identify what different letters and colors meant. So for example, if somebody was big R, we have big R, and little r, little r. Those are 3 different types now. So when we did dominant and recessive before, these two, our first ones, this one and this one, were actually the same. Now that it's a little different, we know that they're going to be that intermediate, so they're going to be that mixture, so it would be like our pink. So for example, this top one, big R, according to our problem, I believe is pink, right? Big R, oh, red, sorry. So we have red. Then we have big R, which is pink. And then little r, which is white. So you can use highlighters. There's markers in the classroom. You guys know I can always give them to you to use for the test too. And then just highlight the different pieces. So if it's going to be a red one, I would highlight it in yellow. So I can go through, but none of those R combinations give us a red, so we're not going to see any of that yellow. So we can move on to pink, and we could highlight it in green. So anybody big R, little r is going to get a green circle. So that's a green. Those are all green circles all the way through. All the others are little r's, so they are going to get highlighted in red, which is they are all white. Boom. And the only reason I do this is just to make sure that when you do your genotypes or when you write your phenotypes here in a little bit, you're able to just look really quickly and see like, oh, that's a pink, and the other color for the blue will be there too, so you'll be able to put the phenotype or typic ratio together really quickly. Our next one, so continuing on with our key, we have our big B. Oh, I can do it in blue. So big B, big B, big B, little b, and little b, little b. With that one, you end up getting, we can do big B, I believe is our broad. Let's see, big B, broad. Then we have narrow is little b, little b. And then we have our intermediate. So again, we can highlight these ones in colors as well. So we can do, let's go ahead and do broad. We haven't used yellow, so we can do broad. So anything big B will be highlighted. Oops. We'll highlight in yellow. So I've got my highlighter. We'll highlight in yellow. So there's one there. Big B there. Down next row. Big B down there. Big B. And that's it. Then our next one will be, we can do blue. We haven't used blue yet for intermediate. Highlight them, big little, big little, big little, big little, all the way through. All right, and then our final one will be, we can do as, actually I think I have any other colors. We can do them as gray. I've got like a grayish color. And then they're little b, little b, little b, little b, all the way through there. Those last few. So now you can just match your colors. So for example, just even looking at the first one, you know that it is green, so it's pink and broadleaf based off of its colors here and color there. So now you just have to write the genotypic and phenotypic ratios. And let me switch back over to black. So if we have our phenotypic ratio, sorry, you don't have to do the genotypic. Let me zoom in. So we would have how many, we can start with the first one right here, which is green and yellow. So that's pink / broad. And how many of those do we have? So we have 1 green, yellow, 2 green, yellow, and looks like it. So we have 2 of that, and then we write these as ratios, so you just do your little colons next to them. Next one down would be green and blue, so pink / intermediate, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, that is it. So we have 4 of those. And then our next one over, I just kind of follow that, little r, so that's going to be white and yellow, so broad. And so that's red and yellow, so we have 1, 2 of those. Next one down, you can just put your semicolon over there and bring it down over here. So we have red and blue, so we have white. And then on the other side we have blue, so that's intermediate. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4 of those. And then finally our last ones here. Oh, not yet. Next one down we have green and little b's, so we have pink and narrow. So pink and narrow, we have 1, 2, and then our final one is our total recessive, so white, narrow, that kind of, and those are 1, 2. So your final ratio, after you've done all this work, you end up getting a 2 to 4, 2, 4, 2, 2 ratio. And that's how you solve that problem. All right, I will just show you the answer in a second to the next one. I'm just gonna put the answer up. But if you'd like to go through it, we can always talk about when you get back. You guys can play this video as many times as you need. But hope everything's going well. If you guys need anything, you know you can always email me. Bye. Alright everybody, so for the second video, I've kind of gone ahead and already set some of it up just so it'd be kind of a lot quicker and you don't have to do as much work or watch me do as much. So this one is a little different because it's going to be talking about it's going to be talking about our cows being codominant. So this time, instead of them intermixing and getting that mixture, that pink color, the red and white, this time you're going to see them both. So this would just be like a cow with speckled red and white. You can look it up on the internet if you really want to see a picture. But both are going to be showing up because one's not dominant over the other. I kind of think of this as like co-captains. They're both showing up. They're both always going to be there. Co-workers, they're both there. They're both expressing. They're both being doing what they're supposed to. So in this case, I went ahead already and I identified your parents for you. So you have big R, the first parent being that big R, and big P to little p. If you want, you can always switch out P's if you don't want to use it, just because sometimes it's an annoying letter to use, just because it's hard to identify that lowercase option. The rest of it, though, I went ahead and I foiled it out for you. So I did your first outer, inner, last, and you get your 4 pairs, so you should always have 4 when you're done with this. Then I did parent 2, little, big, little. Then you foil them out as well. So something that you can kind of notice with this setup compared to what we've done before is that we have a little bit of a repeat, and it is okay to make the work easier for yourself. So if you do have a section, for example, you see right here that we go big, 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 little, but then we do the exact same thing again, big, 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 little. You can simplify your fraction and simplify the work as well. So you can actually just go ahead and take a pen and cross out this whole section of the Punnett square, because it's just going to be an exact repeat of what you've just done on the other side. Now, with that being said, you also have another one. So you have little, big, little, 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 big, little, little. Again, we can simplify this fraction down, get rid of that second half. You can do the whole thing if you would like. There's no problem with that. But this just eliminates a lot of the work and makes it a little easier for you to actually complete. So right here, you have your Punnett square, so you can go ahead and do the rest. Again, oops, writing in highlighter, not in our pen. Switch over to pen. There we go, blue. Oh, I have every color now. All right, so we have big, little, big, little. Same thing here. They are all big, little. Then we can do our other one, which is our P's. So we do big, 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 little, and then the little, little one. So there you go. You have your different combinations. Now you just have to go ahead and identify what they're actually telling you. So I'm going to bring my picture down here a little bit so you can see me, and I'm going to push this up. All right, so we have that combination. Again, I always go ahead and I put together a key so that I know what I'm doing. If you want your big R, that's going to be red. Big R, little r, that's going to be roan. And again, that's just that speckled. A lot of times it'll say like checkered, so like white and black. That's what we mean. Roan is just a specific name for red and white. And then little r will be white. Our other side, we have big P, that is, sorry, I forgot, is that pink? Black nose, and then we have big P, that's our speck. And then we have little p, which is our pink nose. So those are the different ones. So then go through with your highlighter, identify the different pieces. So if we're looking at big R, it doesn't even show up, so you don't even really need it, and cross it out. The only one we have is big R, little r, so everybody is roan, so you can highlight them in blue. And then we need to figure out the other half. So we have big P will be our gray. There's one of those. We have big P is our speckled. There are 2 of those. And then we have one little p, and there's one of those. So your final ratio for this one ends up being 1 roan black to 2 roan speck to 1 roan pink. And it's just a very simplified fraction. If you'd done it the other way, you would just multiply your fraction, or you could just simplify your fraction or multiply this one up to get the same value. Other than that, that's it. You guys have a couple more problems like this to work on. But again, like checkered and stuff like that will come up as just black and white. Make sure, again, when you do these problems, you do show a key that sometimes will help you. Make sure you show your work because you will get points for the work along the way. If you need anything else, like I said, email me. Good luck. Hope everything's going well.